Hey everybody, welcome to Game Time with John Eads. Another great episode planned for you today, and continuing to bring in some of these very talented prep stars from the Baton Rouge area. Today we got a representative from Madison Prep, the Chargers football program. Javen Holmes, a senior safety here who is committed to U of H to play football. There's the sign right there for the Cougs. After his senior year with Madison Prep, obviously should be an exciting season, but obviously you got an awesome future ahead of you as well. So school's starting up, Javen, next week on Monday. Looking forward to going back?
You know what I mean? I always go with the mindset, I got to do it to play football. So, I don't really, trip about school. I just want to, play football, honestly.
That's exactly what I say. It's not like the NFL yet. You'll get there where you don't have to go to school. It's just football season, no classes. You don't got to worry about it. For right now, though, you have to go back to school in order to, be able to play. Because, you can't do the football without the school part. And obviously, you do the school part very well. We'll get into that. What's your favorite subject?
Science, believe it or not. It's just really fascinating to me, about, well, not the earth part of it, but, the body part of science. Just the biology of our body, how we're made, blood vessels, the composition of our body. I find that really interesting.
Okay, so biology, anatomy, that kind of stuff. You taking some of those classes at Madison Prep?
Yeah, I took that last year.
Okay,
as a senior class.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your plans for the first day? You got to get a haircut, or you got an outfit picked out?
No, I'm really just gonna lay low. Honestly, I just want to play football. I got physical therapy for my groin on Monday too. So knock that out. Attack that, and then get back to the main thing, try to help the team, get better.
Cool. You guys have a uniform over there you have to wear for school, or is it whatever
we got,
you want?
Monday uniform. We got to wear a button-up, Sperry shoes. We just, it's dressed to impress or just for success or whatever. But that's what it's, that's what we got to wear Monday.
Just for Monday, or is that every day?
Monday.
Okay, but after that, you can kind of wear what you want to school kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. On Friday, you can wear, a Spirit Day. So you get to wear if you're a football player or athlete in general, you can wear your sweats, some team apparel, whatever you want to wear, honestly.
You might show up looking like that then with the jersey on?
No, not with the jersey.
No jersey?
No jersey.
Okay, just the team gear and stuff.
Special.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You guys got some cool ones. You got that one. You got the kind of lighter blue, yellow. What else you guys? Is it just those three?
Yeah, but we getting some white pants this year too.
Oh, that's new?
Yeah.
Okay, you haven't had white pants before?
Yeah, we never had white.
That'd be nice. You got to go with the all-white outfit at some point then, right?
Yeah.
White out?
Yeah, we're going to try to get that going. Southside again, they said.
Mm-hmm.
So we might, get icy in there.
Yeah, good pick. That one's on the road too, right? I think I wrote it down. Yeah, it is. So white's typically one, color you wear on the road.
Yeah.
Unless you're LSU, I think they wear the whites at home, if I'm not mistaken, amongst the other colors they have. But yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll talk more about the schedule coming up this year. You like going to school at Madison Prep? You've enjoyed it?
Yeah, all 4 years I've been there, for me, I never seen anything bad with it, for me, I just stay out the way, honestly, if you would tell me about the nitty-gritty of it, I wouldn't know. I live under a rock, everybody say at school, so, it's been a good experience for me, honestly.
So you literally just go to school, kind of just, take care of business in the classroom, go to practice and ball out. That's a day in the life, basically.
Honestly.
Okay. So you're generally more of a quiet kind of kid in the hallways?
I'm introverted.
Yeah.
Some would say that.
But when you get on the football field, you flip the switch?
Guy,
extroverted more on the field and stuff? Yeah. I like it. How long have you been playing football?
Probably say about five or six.
Since you were 5 or 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6
gotcha.
years old, yeah.
I was going to say, only 5 or 6 years. That'd be pretty incredible.
No.
Some guys are like that, they don't play football till later. How'd you first get into it? Just kind of join a little league kind of thing? And
first off, my mom said, the story of I was wrestling with my brother or some kid at a family event, and then he was significantly much more older than me, so I was pushing him around or whatever. 5 or 6 years old, I just threw him to the ground, so she said, "You're playing football for the Baton Rouge Bengals coming up next week." So, ever since then, I've been playing, getting to it. I've always been physical. That's what I've been, came up with growing up with a brother, so being wrestling. So it was just natural to me to play defense.
That's cool. Yeah, you mentioned that exactly right there. You like to wrestle your brother growing up. in that interview we did. How much older than you is he?
He's 5 years older than me.
Okay, and how old are you?
17 right now.
So he's 22 or thereabouts?
Yeah, 21,
22. Cool, okay. Y'all pretty close?
Yeah.
Nice. And you have your little sister in here, Jalen?
Yeah, she's Jay Lee.
Jay Lee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's about 10 years younger than me.
Okay. Those are your only siblings? You got more siblings?
Yeah, I got, on my dad's side, I got a little sister too. She's about 201. Oh, yeah, 201.
Gotcha. Okay. You're not wrestling your little sister.
Oh,
right?
no.
Yeah, strictly between
I
older
give
bro,
her a
little
little
bro.
Yeah, I give her a little tug every now and then, try to play with her,
Sure. What are you trying to, impress upon her, like, as an older brother?
I really just want her to just see that it's possible. Like for me, with my brother, he got a scholarship, for football, but obviously it's not the case for her. But she could probably get a scholarship for like volleyball, track. Take the ease off my mom. Not let her come out of pocket for anything for going to college. But for her, I really just want to show her like it's a way. It's a other way that you can do it besides paying for it. And honestly, my mama don't want to pay for it, honestly. So yeah. I feel like she has to go into some athletics or whatever. But yeah.
College is expensive, man. It only gets more expensive by the year. So your brother went to Madison Prep?
No, my brother actually went to Scotlandville for his 9th and 10th grade year, but then he wasn't getting any, love, so he transferred to Shruma, and he got some attention there with Le'Veon. And he got a scholarship to Sterling College.
Okay, cool. So, I was going to ask where he went and played because you mentioned he got a scholarship. So what has he kind of taught you about, getting older through football and kind of preparing for college coming up?
Yeah, he just told me to just stay myself, and he always told me to just utilize my versatility. So, just being able to do everything and take pride into that, With me, I just want to not do everything, but, do everything, if that makes sense. I just want to, put myself in a situation where I'm not just, a one-trick pony or whatever. So
yeah. Well, I mean, your stats would indicate you're not a one-trick pony, 87 tackles. And I think these are accurate. I got these offline. They might be a little sporadic. But 87 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 picks, a pick 6, a forced fumble, 12 PBUs. That sound about right?
Yeah,
thereabouts.
nice.
Yeah. So that kind of, illustrates that you'll help in the run game, but you also can affect the pass game too with the interceptions and the pass breakups and stuff. So that versatility shows through your tape, right?
Yeah. I could have had 7 interceptions.
That's what you said you wanted. You wanted 7 picks.
Yeah.
You wanted 80 tackles. You got that. You wanted 2 forced fumbles. You had 1. close. You wanted 7 picks. You only had, it's still 3 picks is still good. And then 12 PBUs. Were some of those drops?
Yeah, well, they were drops.
Yeah?
Yeah, DB heads case right there. So,
hey,
I could have had those.
It's better than a completion for the other team.
Yeah.
So could be worse.
Yeah.
Better that than something else.
Yeah, but they say you dropping money, you dropping picks. So
you've been working on that this offseason then, getting on the jugs machine and all that.
Yeah, I just been jugs machine with my little sister and my girlfriend. They throw me the tennis ball. I try to catch them in different ways. I put my hand behind my back, try to catch it one, and then I just do that. Instead of a jugs machine.
Yeah. Well, that works. If you can catch a tennis ball, you can catch a football. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than a tennis ball. So that's nice. Shout out to them for helping you out with that. Because you can't really do that by yourself. You need someone to be throwing you the balls and stuff. So I'm sure you kind of could pick which high school maybe you went to. Why'd you want to go to Madison Prep?
Because I went to CSAL, and when I was going to the games, I seen Major Burns, Zion, Joel, Tyrell. I seen all those guys play. So, I just wanted to be a part of that. And then also my teammates from CSAL, they went to Madison Prep. But, unfortunately, some of them transferred out. But the bulk of them stayed. So, I really just went to CSAL. I went to Madison Prep for, because of them, honestly.
Yeah, and CSAL is connected to Madison Prep,
right? Yeah, it's like
a
pipeline school, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally it's right there.
Yeah, part of the same campus.
I've parked there a couple times accidentally, trying to figure out how to get in and get to practice there. So that's cool. I guess naturally that's the feeder to go from there to the other side of the little plot of land there. So you mentioned Major and Zion, some of the guys that have played at Prep and gone on to play, pretty big college ball. Zion's obviously still playing. He's at Houston, right? And majors with the Bears right now, trying to get a contract. He's an undrafted free agent, but played at LSU. What'd you learn from those guys about your time at Madison Prep? And I'm sure you've talked to them over the years and stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had talked to Major.
Okay.
I talked to Zion pretty much. My freshman year, he actually taught me how to play quarterback. Coming up as a freshman, they didn't really know what I was going to play. So I just, they didn't have anybody else, so I just played quarterback. And he tried to teach me, but, obviously I'm not Zion or Chris. So, yeah, I just got some wisdom from him how to play quarterback. And then, later, recently, we was talking about Houston, coming up for the official visit. We chopped it up a little bit. And, yeah, pretty much. But I would say who taught me was Traylon James, Debo. We call him Debo. I forgot his real name. I don't even know his real name. But, yeah, those are the star seniors. And David Jones, yeah. Those are the star senior guys that taught me pretty much, what I know now. David was a 3-star. Traylon was a 3-star, but Debo was unranked. But, he was still a top guy that we had,
Cool. What'd you play growing up, like in middle school and stuff?
Actually, I played linebacker.
Oh, okay.
Linebacker. I was, they didn't, I couldn't really catch like that, but, I couldn't really, I was like an in-betweener, so they didn't really put me on DN because, I would complain about them double teaming me or whatever, so they just put me at linebacker, and I just, make plays.
Cool. And then you moved back when? Like, when did you start playing safety?
My freshman year of high school, I slimmed down a little bit. I got faster, so they put me up top. I started off at quarterback,
right,
and they put me a receiver, and I had DB hands, so they put me in safety. So yeah, pretty much that's how that happened.
Okay, you feel like that's your natural spot though? You've liked playing back there ever since then?
Like I said, I really played everywhere. Even in Little League, I played DN, I played linebacker. I played cornerback one time, I just was playing everywhere. So I just take pride into that, honestly. So, I couldn't tell you that answer, honestly.
Gotcha. Right now, you feel like you're still versatile? Like, you play safety for your high school, but you could play, like, anything in the secondary next level?
The name I got, they tell me is a football player. They say Javen Holmes is the football player because, I play everywhere now. I obviously improved the hand, so I'm starting to play receiver now. And I'm playing, that hybrid position now. We call it our rover. So we play. He plays like the defensive end, outside linebacker hybrid. So I'm playing him. They might put me at running back this year. They might put me at quarterback because my freshman year passed. So
okay, so we could see you at a lot of different spots this year, not just in the secondary.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look out for that. So quarterback, running back, receiver, hybrid, outside linebacker, DN, and say that's a lot. That's good though, because you're getting a lot of good tape, and you could kind of, the more things you can do, the more opportunities you have, the more valuable you are. So I think there's definitely some wisdom in that. So that's good. How long have you been on varsity at Prep? Since freshman year?
Yeah, since freshman year.
Okay, and your trajectory's kind of been, pay your dues a little bit, and then you played a decent amount as a sophomore, and kind of held it down since then.
Yeah. Freshman year, it's probably more of an accident. I played because, guys got injured. So, that's how I got to play. And then those were serious injuries, so that kind of lingered over to sophomore. But my freshman year, I was kind of like a rotational guy. Wasn't, getting love that much. But sophomore year, I got the starting job. Unfortunately, I lost it. It was my first game, varsity against Brother Martin. It was cover 2. The guy ran like a cover 2 beater, and it was my job to not. It wasn't my job, honestly, but it was my fault. He gave me with a double move, and then he caught it and took it for a touchdown. So, my confidence got shot, and then I started my game kind of declined, but I earned it back, but I was still more that rotational guy. But then I got it together during the end of that sophomore campaign, and then junior year, I got it all together. I wasn't even out the game on defense, and then senior year, I'm trying to piece it all together. Overall, trying to play offense, defense.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you learn from that experience of, making a mistake and then having to kind of gain that confidence back? Seems like since then you've kind of figured it out. And,
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, you
yeah.
know. Like it was this song that my mom was playing one day. It was by Lauryn Hill. It was like Nothing Even Matters. And I was listening to that song before the game, trying to calm my nerves down. And I, take the time to really realize that, nothing really even matters. Like it really doesn't. Like honestly, I give up a 50-yard touchdown, next series, next play, gotta get up, gotta suit up, do the same thing next series. So, it's just all about the mentality of it, honestly. So, if you just linger on that, you're gonna be stuck on it, honestly. So you're not gonna be able to, physically, do it.
Yeah, I like that. Football games sometimes are decided on a few plays, but one can become two, and two can become five.
Yeah.
If you kind of just stay on that one and don't move past it. So that's good. That's a good mentality. I'm sure you've kind of taught that to some of the other guys too,
Yeah.
who go through those similar struggles. There's a lot on your plate as a safety. There's only two
Yeah.
of y'all, and you're the last line of defense, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, moving on. In that interview we did last year, at that point in time, your recruiting was, as you put it, dry. Like you didn't have a lot of interest
Yeah, it
in
was
stuff like that.
stagnant. Yeah, it was stagnant.
And now here you are, 1 year later. You got a dozen offers, if not more, and from schools like Mississippi State, UL, Arkansas State, Navy, Tulane, Tulsa, a bunch of the HBCUs like Southern, Grambling, FAMU, and obviously you're committed to Houston. So how have things changed in a year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that junior campaign was the contributor for that. But, honestly, it was just God, giving me the time, blessing me with that, opportunity that, many don't get. So it was honestly just them. I mean, honestly, just God. And then, the opportunity of junior year, probably that sophomore year too. Because my sophomore year is pretty big against Parkview, that pick six I got. So I'm pretty sure that was contributing too. So,
And did that play count, or did they call that one back?
No, they didn't call that back. They called
Okay.
that. They called that
It's different.
sideline hit back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's the video of it still out there, so
yeah.
it technically still
The ball
happened.
don't lie.
So that's right. Well, that's good, man. What was it like as you were starting to get these offers? It's exciting.
It was kind of like I took a breath of fresh air. I didn't really have to put it all on my senior year to rack up some offers. It's just calming to have all these offers, but it's not comfortable, but it's just you're at ease now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now you kind of know what your next step is.
Yeah.
Like you're not
just
sitting
scrambling
there
around.
worried
Yeah.
about it. You're like, all right, at the end of this, obviously you're focused on what's at hand, which is your senior year, but kind of what you're doing after this. So you can go out there and you don't feel the pressure of like, I got to do stuff to get noticed. You already got people.
Force plays, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to do that this year. Obviously, you still want to play your best and stuff and things like that, but you don't have the stress in the back of your head like, man, I got to go play somewhere. So it's good. What was like the first big offer you got in the list? I tried to go back through chronologically because they all kind of went and came quickly there.
Yeah, they did. It was like each and every day they came, but the biggest one kind of opened my eyes was Mississippi State. That's the SEC school, and for the longest I've been wanting Tulane, but unfortunately, it didn't work out how I wanted to go. So I went with Houston. So Houston was a big one too, Big 12, Power 4. So big time school. So
yeah. So you don't have the Tulane one, or you do have a Tulane?
I do have
you
it.
have it. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
have
you.
it.
Because it said you did online, so I thought
I
so.
have it.
Yeah. You like Tulane as well?
Yeah, but I feel like they didn't really want me.
Yeah.
Because it took so much time to finally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it at the end of the day. I'm grateful for it. But
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go where you're wanted. Where you feel like a priority. You feel like Houston kind of gave you those vibes and stuff.
Yeah, really persistent. That's why I even committed to there because at the end of the day I was going to Mississippi State, and then Houston coach talking to me there. I'm like, he texted me. And then after at the visit at UH, I feel like I'm the hero here or something. You know, they
Yeah.
feeling like I'm like they showing me everywhere. You know, they give me to the back cuts. You know, like my coach told me go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So
Yeah.
that's why I felt like I was celebrated.
Yeah, no doubt. I like that. How did you kind of get in touch with Houston? Did you go to one of their camps and kind of get on the radar that way, or they kind of knew about you?
Yeah, they kind of knew about me for my sophomore year, but they didn't really have enough film to pull the trigger. And also, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was just summed up the film. I didn't really have enough film. I had film, but I didn't have enough. But then the summer of my sophomore year came around, and then I dropped the track time 200 like 2:22.8. It's not really good, but it's fast. So I think that got attention. And then my junior year campaign, I think that my junior year campaign really brought the attention to me. And then and then around the spring, they came and do some practice visits, and they pulled the trigger.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of a lot of things, right? Like they want to see the good film, they want to see the good track speed, and obviously character, good in the classroom. So kind of everything all together was too much for them to go, no, we got to have this guy,
Yeah.
So prior to that, you'd been committed to UL since December of last year, and then in June you decommitted from there. Was that kind of a hard decision because that's another attractive place to go play? You know?
Like same with Houston, but I felt like I was celebrated there as well. Like they said I was the #1 guy on their board, coming in. But honestly, it was just a group of 5, the Sun Belt Conference. It's pretty competitive, but it's nothing like a Power 4 school. So that kind of contributed to that decision. Unfortunately, that it turned out that way because that was the first group of 5 school that offered me besides the SWACs, the FAMU, Grambling.
Yeah.
So that was my 3rd offer. So ever since then, they've been there first. But at the end of the day, I feel like if the coach was in that same situation, I feel like a coach would go to a higher conference. So
yeah, no doubt. I mean, playing in the Sun Belt's cool, but if you could play in the Power 4, in the SEC, or in the Big 12, I mean, that's the bigger stage. You're on TV more. You get more eyeballs on you, and you got a path to playing time. That's the way to go. So certainly logical. Any reason you committed on the 4th of July? Was it big holiday, family celebration kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, because it's 4th of July. You know? But one guy that committed to Houston, he did it on what they call it 713 Day, where like they celebrate July 13th. So that was a cool idea. But I mean July 4th, July 4th. So
yeah, that's awesome. Is 713? That's the Houston area code.
Yeah, that's the area.
That's why.
code,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What do you like about Houston?
It's really versatile and it's diverse. You can make it what you want, honestly. You can have, you can be mellow, chill, with some guys that from Louisiana probably, and then you might switch it up, go hang out with some Mexican guys, you might hang out with some of your white guys, so or Asian, it's really diverse there, honestly. So, you can make it what you want, honestly.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice to have a diverse, student body. You get to meet different people that come from different places, and you can kind of, expand yourself a little bit. You learn different things from different people and stuff. So your official visits, you went to Mississippi State late May. The next week you went to UL, where at that point in time you were still committed. And then you went to Houston last. Usually the school you visit last is the one you go to for whatever reason. I noticed that in recruiting. So between those 3 official visits, you thought Houston was the one that just felt the best for you?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, Mississippi State was cool, but it's in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do there. But, and then UL, like I said, I mean, it's a group of 5. So, there's not much you can get from it. But, it's still, they still got a good foundation there. So, but, Houston was just different. And actually, I took a split visit. I went to Rice too.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that on the website, but you had an offer from there, and it's not too far. It's like just across the town, right?
Yeah. So I did a split visit there, and I went to Rice, but it was kind of the same thing as UL.
Yeah.
So the decision was made.
Yeah. take the opportunity that's at the highest level, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. So a couple more things for you. Thanks for coming in again. Thanks to Chuck as well, behind the scenes for us here. What do you like about Willie Fritz, Houston, the program, the culture over there, all that?
Yeah, his persistence, like the one word that I would describe Houston was persistent. Because every day I'm working out, every day I'm on the game, every day like I'm just, chilling, having, a regular day. I get a call from Coach Willie Fritz, UH, every day. He's calling my phone, trying to know what I'm doing, letting me, talking to me about, what the plan is for me, that it wasn't annoying because, these are good problems to have. So, every day, getting that call, it's a good feeling,
That's awesome, because sometimes it's not the head coach that's talking to you. It's more so the coordinator, your position coach. But Willie Fritz, like the head coach, was calling you nonstop, it sounds like. Yeah. That's cool. What would y'all like to talk about?
One time I was telling him that I was working out, and then he was like giving me tips about squatting, form, telling me workouts I should do, prior to coming to Houston, One time he was on vacation, and I was telling him that I was about to commit, and then he jumped through the roof all over the phone. He was just really excited, to tell that I told him that information. So.
Cool. They've had some really good safeties recently. One of them just transferred from Houston to LSU, AJ Halsey there. So, when they identify a DB they like and they get him, I'm sure that makes them really excited. So, what do they like about your game based on the film and everything?
Yeah, the versatility. That's what they told me when I came to the official visit. The versatility that I come with. And my physicality. It's not common that you find guys that just enjoy contact. It's really rare to find that in guys, especially at safety position. Some guys now they want to be cover guys. They what I mean? Like they don't want to hit. So it's kind of rare for my skill trait. And then my versatility. I could be anywhere, so you wouldn't know where you're getting hit from.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you said verbatim, I like to hit. So yeah, bring the pop, bring it all from that safety spot. What do they think you could play? Do they like you at like nickel, safety, corner, like all of that? Like you could do a lot of different things there?
They said it was all interchangeable.
Okay.
So I could play, nickel, free safety, but right now they're going to start me at weak safety to not replace AJ, but, like to be in his footsteps of AJ. And then, if my development of my body, if I get, physically, bigger, I might, go to nickel, play in the box. So.
You're pretty big right now. 6'1", 6'2", 200 it said online. You probably put on a few pounds since then.
Now.
205. I mean, every one counts, You make that 5-pound gain, you want to make sure that's on there. So why don't we 205, get that in there for you. That's good, man. Let's see. So Austin Armstrong's the DC over there at Houston. And then Josh Christian Young is the safeties coach.
Yeah,
CY, that's what you call him? You talk to them a lot, I'm sure. What do you like about those guys?
Just their energy. They just come with an energy where you're like, they stick out like a sore thumb. Like, I'm not gonna say they're talkative, but they like to yap their mouth. So, but it's good to see that they actually care, because if they weren't talking to you, then they really won't care about you. So.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed these guys all have like Louisiana ties. Obviously, Fritz was at Tulane for a while. Austin and Josh, coached at UL and places around here, from what I gathered. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helps, right, with familiarity and stuff with your recruitment and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then guys on the roster, we've talked about a few of them. There's a decent amount of guys from around here at Houston. DK from Central last year, Rashad Sterling from Lutcher, Zion, a bunch of others. How close are you with guys currently on the team there?
Yeah, DK. I actually played against DK at a JV game, my freshman year at quarterback, and he tried to sack me one time, and I gave him a little juke. And then Rashad, I don't really know much about Rashad because he went to Lutcher.
Yeah.
And obviously Zion, he was at my my freshman year. He was there, so.
Any others from around here that are on the team right now?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But I know ones. Scott. I think I know Scott.
Scott Smith.
Yeah,
yep.
I think he committed.
He's in your class. He's over at Central as well.
Yeah.
D tackle. So you guys might be in the same defense.
Yeah.
So let's see. Round out with a couple things here. You got a great GPA, as we talked about. Just how important is school for you, doing well in the classroom?
Yeah, my mom's an educator as well, so she's really on me about school. So what I like to do is just get rid of school first. So knock all the homework out, all the assignments that I gotta do first, knock that out, and then focus on football. So, sometimes you might get distracted, but just staying disciplined, staying focused, and getting the work knocked out. So,
What do you want to study in college? You have a major picked out?
Yeah, I might want to go into kinesiology or some type of sports medicine.
Okay.
Or maybe sports and fitness. Try to just to know more about the body.
Okay. You mentioned that's your favorite, the biology and that kind of stuff. So that's right up your alley there. Might be tough to balance that with football, but I think you're cut out to do it. You already kind of do it right now. So, and the team this year, you guys went 9-4 last year. I think that included the Jamboree or whatever. But 9 straight wins before y'all's lost to Shaw in the semifinals by a touchdown, and they ended up going on to win the whole thing, I'm pretty sure. So what do you think about this year's team? You guys feel like you can make a deep run again?
We can make a run again because we still got the same pieces that we had. Obviously we lost some of our, our quarterback, we lost some of our receivers, we lost some of our DBs, but, at the end of the day, it's about, the pride that you're going to have and discipline, that you're going to, make the plays that, that need to be made at the, right time. So, it doesn't matter if you're young. I can't use that excuse because I was young playing. So, it's about stepping up the young guys, make the guys step up, me leading them, to this, to the path of the state championship. So
yeah, I mean, you guys have done a great job, especially recently over there. You won it in 2020 with Zion at quarterback, I'm pretty sure. And since then, you've been really consistent. 8 wins 2 years ago, 9 last year, as we already talked about. Why are y'all so consistently good over there?
Because we just got the talent, but now we just got to put in the discipline. Put in the discipline and the talent that comes together. Now you got a whole other beast. So now just piecing that together, finally gonna get us over the hump.
Okay, Hey, you're not too far away. You just need 2 more wins and you're there. That's the top of the mountain. So. Shout out some of your teammates here. Who we got to look out for this season?
Cannon Walker.
Yep.
Landon Johnson, Keon Robinson, the twins, they call them Chicken and Dumpling, Carnell Darnell, Sabian, he's a transfer. Who's the other guys?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Dalen. I think you guys are on the leadership council, I saw. Mm-hmm. So you already mentioned Landon.
And a young guy, I can shout out Dalen Clark. They call him DC. He's a young guy coming up, so hopefully, he can step up to the plate.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it, man. Nice schedule here. You got Dutchtown on the road again. Mandeville, that's a good program. Southside, they made a deep run in the playoffs last year. And then you got Parkview, and you kind of get into district play after that. So you got a game circled that you're looking forward to on there?
We're looking at U-High on Halloween.
Of course. Just like last year, right? Yeah, that was it rained that night. And, okay.
Wet and muddy.
Yeah, but that was a great game. Y'all got the win there. And is it at U-High this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sweet. That'll be fun.
Cub Complex, they call it.
Yeah, Cub Complex. That'd be the place to be on Halloween night. So, last question here. We went over what your goals were for last year. We said 80 tackles, what you got, the forced fumbles, the picks. What are your goals for your senior year?
Trying to at least get 10 offensive touchdowns, run or pass, at least 500 all-purpose yards, 100 tackles.
Okay.
Solo or, it's 100 tackles. Probably trying to get that 7 interceptions, so trying to get that. Trying to get maybe some passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Throwing the ball.
That counts with the 10 offensive touchdowns,
yeah. All right, well, yeah, I just want to make an impact offensively and defensively. So the 10 touchdowns, the 500 all-purpose, the 100 tackles, really trying to get 100, and then 7 interceptions. So.
Cool. Yeah, I remember at the 7-on-7 you were calling for slots and stuff, and they couldn't quite get you the ball. But I know you're hungry to make an impact on that side, so it'd be fun. I didn't even really notice that because I don't know if you played a lot of offense last season. Not that I recall. So I was like, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that Javen might be playing some offense this year. But there we go. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Hey, Mom.
There you go. She's actually in here with us. So hi there, hi virtually, both of them. So thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Good luck this season. Nice to have your family in, your girlfriend as well. It's a good little experience here. So glad you could come in and check us out. Check Madison Prep out this year. They should have another great team. 9-4, went to the semis last year and nearly made a run back at the state championship. So they'll look to do that once again this year under Coach Landry Williams, Aaron Sutton, the whole crew over there at Madison Prep. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time.